That's one.
That's one. So that means
Someone say even Rwanda doesn't have three.
I was also shocked. But what we call season, it's something that happens on the same time frame. If you have rain, let's say in those particular months, July, August, September, and October, just that. So that means you have one rain season. Unless you have that in July, October, and maybe in January and February you have another season of rain. That you have two seasons. You see?
2 seasons.
Yes, that will be 2 seasons. But in your case, if you can only have rain July, August, September, and October, the consecutive months, you have 1 season. The season simply means something that repeats themselves over the periods of time. So that's what we're going to analyze and see how it works with the practices. Always, we are not going to code. AI will help us. Let me just connect. So this analysis of seasonality analysis or time series analysis of focus, it helps for decision makers to make planning, future planning. Yeah. Let's say maybe you always know that in Sudan you will have rain in July, August, September, that. The rest of the month is going to be dry or summer. So you could buy your dams or construct dams in June so that the rain will come when you are ready. Who would start constructing a dam in Sudan in December, waiting to have rain in July? Is there anyone who would be, let's say, digging the dam, getting it ready, or buying the tanks for you to collect the rain? Is there anyone who will buy tanks in January and December? Most likely, people will tend to buy the tanks in maybe June and May, so that the rain will come when they are ready. So the seasons, it's something that you can analyze and do. Let's assume maybe you have a big supermarket in Sudan that maybe sells the jackets, the raincoats. You will find the raincoats mostly in that season. The rest of the time, you won't find it any raincoat, maybe in the store. You see? So the time series is something that doesn't work. Doesn't it? So the time series helps you to be able to predict and you know what's most likely to happen in the future. Let's maybe assume you are working into meteorological agents that measure the quantity of temperature, quantity of rain in Sudan. And they want to give the communication to the public that tomorrow is going to rain heavily. How are you going to tell? So they have the sensor in the atmosphere, and they will send the signals, and they'll put into the models, and the models will do the analysis. Based on the past, the model will be able to tell them, okay, our month in July, we are going to have rain. Now, maybe people will start preparing, maybe staying at home. In very advanced countries, they even give the public communication that please, tomorrow stay at home. There are going to be a snow or a lot of sun, so stay at home. So that is a prediction, a forecast. That's what we're going to do and see how we can use our data. Remember, we have the data of the day of import, the commodity that was imported, the values in USD, and the volumes in tons. So we can now know which period that will most likely import a lot of things. What is going to happen in the future? Yeah, you see. So now, if you have the histories, they mainly rely on the historical data. Now, if we analyze this historical data, we can maybe see that every July we import a lot of things. Maybe every July something is happening. Maybe people are not working. Maybe because of rent, people are staying at home and eating, not producing. So you can be able to know the reason why after doing this simple analysis. So time series analysis is one of the important components that you cannot go without. Kansas one. So now, when we say time series data set, so time series data set, that's what you always see on the screen. Let me give you an example. I will do Control P and make duplicate. So when you are on the stock market, some of you, did any one of you invest in a cryptocurrency or stock market or into online assets or virtual assets? Or it is not allowed to have one in Sudan? It's not allowed? You don't have virtual assets? Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Do you? No one. It's not allowed? Ah, okay, I see. So now, whenever you go on the cryptocurrency, you will always go on their website and you see some charts like this. Yeah? Maybe this is the value, and this is the time. Normally, on the x-axis, we have the time. So now, let's say if they are telling you that your asset is in this way, people will tend to buy. People will intend to buy because their asset is on the upward trend. It means the price of the asset is on increasing trend. On the x-axis, of course, here will be first, second, third. It will be the dates. Yeah. Now, if we are on 24th, and you see your asset is like this, you are most likely going to sell it on the higher price. If you bought it at this price and you see the prices here, you can sell it, and people, they'll give you a lot of money. So this is just the time series. And some models also, they add the forecast. If today we are on the 24th, the model can be able to come and give you that, okay, maybe next month something is expected to be like this. So it means based on their histories, it knows how it has been changing over the past period. Now it is suggesting you how it's going to be tomorrow and the next tomorrow. Now, if you see these things tomorrow, you can sell it today, and tomorrow the price is going to be low. Or if you plan to buy the assets now, you can stop until tomorrow it goes to the downward trend. But this is what we call time series analysis. The models will help you to make such kind of forecast. Yeah. Time series. This is the time series. The way it works, it's just like any human being. It's also the component of machine learning. If I told you that you can make simple model by your own, but the more it gets complicated, the more we need the machines to do it. We are going to have so many statistical applications within this, because you don't take data and just predict. You need to understand, is there any seasonality? That's why I asked you if you have made more than one seasons in Sudan. The seasonality by here, I can tell you that Now we have maybe this is one season, another season, the downfall seasons. If this happens, let's say on monthly basis, we can say this is maybe a downfall. This is 3 seasons. But for you, if I plot your rainfall, let's say if I put let me do like this, don't save it. If I put the month, like this is Jan, this is December. Maybe July is around here. Yeah. If I put humidity or rainfall participation, the way the rain is going to rain. So in July for you, it is going to start like lower, like this. It is going to be like this. A lot of fogs without rain. But when it goes to July, because you always have rain in July and this month, and maybe in October it goes down, it continues like this. This is, let's say, if this was 2022, if I 2022 is going to be the same. You start lower, and when you get to July of 2023, you are going to go upward, and then you come back again. So this is how your chart of rainfall is going to be. So anyone reading this chart will be able to tell that every year they only have one season. But a country like Rwanda that we have rain, let's say in 2 seasons, you will see the 2 peaks at some point. Now, for you to pass this data into machine learning to make future forecast, you need to do some preparation like moving average, make sure that there are stationarity and so on. There are some statistical components or properties you have to test before you just do some predictions. But we're going to do one to see the advanced model called Facebook Prophet. There is a model called the Facebook Prophet. Who is the Muslim prophet? Who is the Muslim prophet? Alhamdulillah. So a Facebook prophet is the model that helps or handle everything, and it gives you the future forecast that you want. But before that, you are going to see what we call moving average. I want you to understand the moving average. It's one of the simplest statistical application that is easy to understand. Why do we do moving average and how to do it? Machine will do it for us. It's just one line of code, but we need to understand what is the moving average. Who have had moving average before? Anyone? Moving average. Have you ever had moving average before? No? Don't sleep in my class. I'm asking you. You are sleeping. Wake up. So moving average, because of these peaks or these properties of data to change at some point, it's not good to feed it the machines always. The same way we learned logarithmic function to transform something that has big values to have a small values. That's the same as moving average. But moving average, it only works in time series data. This is how it works. This is how it works. When you have moving average, let me show you simply. Control U, don't save. Let's say you have data set of 1 month, and maybe volume. You have volume of export, and maybe you have month here. Yeah. Let's say this was Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, and so on. Here you have 3 tons, 4 tons, 5 tons, 10 tons, 11 tons, maybe 13 tons. For you to do a better analysis, you need to do what we call moving average. Moving average of these values. Moving average of these values. It's up to you to decide how many times you need to use as interval. If you say moving average of 2, you take the 2 values and you compute their average. You use their average instead of the original values. Let's say if we say moving average of 2, the first value, because it doesn't have the previous value to compare and do the average, it is going to stay as it is. Here we're going to have 3. But here, instead of having 4, we're going to have the average between 4 and the previous 3, which is going to be 3.5. Very good. 3.5. Now, instead of having 5, we're going to have the average between 4 and 5, which is going to be 4.5. 4.5. Instead of having 10, we're going to have the average between 10 and 5. This is about 5, isn't it?
Instead of having 11, we're going to have an average between 11 and 10, which is maybe 10.5, something like this. So now the data are going to be transformed as we're using moving average. This is moving average of 2 because you are taking average of 2 values. It can be a moving average 3. Now you are going to take, instead of writing 5, it's going to be the average of 5, 4, and 3. You sum them and then you divide the 3. But because of these techniques to be useful in the businesses, they have developed those models in Python that can do it with the small lines. We write the comment and the machine will handle the rest for us. You see what moving average mean? So if the data are daily, let's say if you have the export on daily basis and you want to do the analysis on weekly basis, it's not advisable to go and take the export or import on Sunday. But rather you take the 7 days, you do moving average. So you take the average of 7 days. So if I give you the export on weekly basis, the data of export and import on weekly basis, and maybe you need to do your analysis on monthly basis, you can't take the last week of the month. You would rather do the average of 4 weeks and take one value on that month. 4 weeks average and so on. That's what moving average will help you to. If you have the data maybe are generated by the sensor and are generated on daily basis, on hourly basis or minute basis, you can take 1 hour and then you say, okay, do moving average of 6 or 24. 24 hours, you make a daily data. So that's how we convert data from daily to weekly or to monthly. You take the whole average of 7 days, the whole average of 4 weeks to make it the monthly data. So that's what moving average does. You see how applicable it is. Data can be generated on daily basis, but the conclusion can be weekly or monthly or quarterly, based on the moving average. Yeah. So let's do the practice. So normally, to make it simple, it's always good to have 2 columns when you are dealing with your time series. Column of time, date, and the column of your interest. It can be volume, can be amount, it can be age, can be whatever. But you have 2 columns: time or date, and the value that you want to analyze. So which we are going to do here? On our data set, good enough, we have a column called the value in USD and volume in tons. And we have the date. So we can simply go and do our simple analysis. Maybe we take one country of interest and then we do our analysis. So let's take our country of interest and then we sum all the volume per day. We group it per day and then we take the total values on each date. Yeah, we take from the data we have, we're going to take maybe our country of interest, and then we keep only 2 columns: dates and maybe the volume in tons. We can also filter and keep. This should be, let's say, exports or imports. Let's use imports. We're going to filter the data. We keep only imports, and then we create those 2 columns: the total volume that was imported, and just dates. For Somalia, for example, or Sudan. And then we run our statistical test. So we're going to do that using Python. I hope you are on your notebook. Are we together? Okay, so for you to make sure your library is still recognized, you open it and then you go to a run all. Run all will help you to make sure that all the libraries that you have read or data, they are all recognized. Run all. Click on run all. Just interrupt the camera. Run all, whatever you have the installation, you give it a comment. So we don't need to do some installation. And the answer is going to comment in viewers. So make sure that any line that has the installation is no longer there or it is commented. If you comment it, no, you should be able to see your code running without any problem. What was this? Okay, I will check that later. Yeah. So let's see. Did I get here? Let me run the or and see. Run or we need to make sure that the trade data is being recognized below. Does this do I even need you? Then comment this. Huh? Let me comment it. Run or so that all the variables will be recognized. Remember the other code that needs some decimals. Yeah, might delay the process. I need to comment this so that going forward it's not going to be prompting with. Yeah, remember that section. You can even comment it to avoid any future error. Comment it. Okay, it's okay. Now we are here. Very good. Okay. So we are here. Let's say, let me add a title that called time series analysis. So with the markdown. I hope we all remember how to add markdown. Use the two hash for it to be as title. Control plus, make it a little bigger for you to see. So now I can say time series analysis. Okay. So anyways, leave it. So now let's here, we are going to say from this trade data, we're going to filter and keep where the trade type is import, where the trade type is import, and the countries maybe, we can take any country. Let me see the best ones that can give us good data sets. Let me do like this. Oops. 1 second. Okay. Do window P so that you can extend that when it's going to use the full capacity. Okay. So let's say from this trade data, we are going to only keep trade data. We are going to only keep. I don't need this. This has a few data sets. Let me use this one that was. Okay. Let's read it again. Let's read the whole table as the trade data. Let's read our CSV file called trade data below the time series, because that one might not have a lot of data sets. It was coming from the database and it had a few values. Yeah, so let's read this file again. We remember how to read the CSV data into our Python. Okay, so let's put the comment. Read. Let's say read trade import export dataset file in CSV. That's it. So I can call it trade data. Okay, so now it is giving me the code. Let me change this variables to be trade import, or let me call it trade import only, maybe trade underscore import. Import to be like that. So now we can check the head. Trade export head. So I'm changing the variable so that it is not going to be the same as the one before. Where's my output? Where is my output? Presentation. Let me just see why. Okay, on the call. Share it. Let me see print and see. Then put it under print. Where's my output? Need to see my output. Need to see my output. Let me restart. Why is not my output coming there? Seems like it is saving space for it. I can't see it. Is your output coming? I don't know why mine is not coming. It's not coming. Output. Wait and see. What is it? Yeah, you see, for me it's coming back. Maybe some settings. Check. Check why. Sorry. Maybe I need to close Some other libraries don't save. Let me just do like this. Don't save. Okay, it is coming. Okay, it is coming. So now let's say that we have this data set. We could come and say, please give us the total volume in tons, and date for imports where the trade type is equal to import, and maybe country is equal to China. Let's model the China and see how they import, or let's say maybe China, yeah. So here we can simply come and say it. So let's only say to give us one column of, let's put the comment and say we need only the imports for China. Give the trade filter, it's filter. The keyword is to filter. It's filter the data. You can call it trade import. You can call it trade import data. Trade import data to keep the country. Only country is China, and trade type is import. Trade type is import. Trade type is import. So now the system is going to write the code for us, as always. It's always do. You see, so now if I say like this, let me reduce the size, control minus, okay. Just that. Yeah. Here it is going to say only country is equal to China. Yes. Is equal to China. Yeah, it's China, not China. You see, it can even know that you are writing something in the wrong way. So now we are going to only keep the trade. I can call it trade China, trade import China. You can change this variable. Trade import underscore China. You see that? So you can change the variables. That's something you can modify because system will not know exactly what you want. Now you can run that. So inside, I can still tell it, filter, give me just 2 columns of dates and volume in tons, and sum by that the dates. Just that. Give just 2 columns of date and import. Give just 2 columns. Give me just 2 columns. 2 columns of date and volume, quantity tons for China. For China data. You see? So if I do like this, this is exactly how you select the columns. If you have big data set and you need to select the columns, that's how you do it. You put into brackets and then you specify one column in the quotation marks and another column. If I run that, it is going to display just two columns, date and the quantity. This is the quantity that was. I can still say do the total on if the date is the same, do the sum of the volume. If the date is the same, if the date is the same, sum the quantity. So because I don't need for the same date. You see? So you group by this and then you say quantity sum. You see? So if I run this code, it's going to give me the same data point, but now the date is going to be once for China. Here down, you can tell how many rows you have, columns, 2 columns and 120 rows. At least we can use this 120 to make our focus. It simply shows that we have something, yeah, which is great. Which is great. You see? Yes? Huh? So this is, we are trying to only keep 2 columns for imports and for China. On each date, we have the total imports. So if you go into the big table you have and you ask or you filter manually and you check the date of this first July 2025, you'll see that China has this total. So we are trying to group everything as sum. Now we have 2 columns, so we can do whatever we want, either time sales forecasts, doing moving average, and so on. This is just what I want us to have. Yeah. We filtered to keep only China and imports, and then we did the sum, the group by on dates, and then yeah, we'll make that there are. So this is simply the 2 data set, the 2 columns that is needed. If they are giving you big table of many countries, different commodities for Sudan, and they are asking you to do time series and forecasting the future, make sure you are on this stage where you only have 2 columns of dates and of date and of the value you are interested in, because they can give you so many columns. Yeah, they can give you a lot of things, exchange rates, import, export, treatment, and so on. But when you filter this way, you can keep whatever you want. So are we on the same place so that we can run our analysis? One step many people like to do before you perform any advanced analytics, you need to plot this on line chart and see that if you can observe some trends. Can we continue? Okay. Try to have just two columns. This has to be the trade import China with two columns, date and quantity in tons. Try to ask some sentence. It has to work. Put a sentence. Once you have this, the most appropriate way to analyze this data is to put them on time series analysis or on line chart. So line chart, as other plots that we learned last time, we have covered the box plot, bar charts, and the scatter plot for the correlation between the two lines. Now there is another one called the line chart. Line chart is just a chart that normally goes with the time dependence. As long as you have something of month, days, years, or quarter, and you put your values in that, maybe this is the volume or amount, you have to plot something like this, which shows that something has been increasing or decreasing over time. This is called the line chart. This is called the line chart. Every time that someone asks you which chart to use when you have timeline or you on time dependence or trend to see the change over time, you go with the line chart. Line chart is mainly for the trend analysis. So now that we have this, let's continue. Can we continue? Okay, 2 more minutes. So after having this data, what we are going to do for those who are advanced, add another cell, and then you convert this date. Check the types. This date is going to be like object. So change it to be recognized as date. By now it can be a string. If I say data type or info, I can use info to check the data types of this. I can say check data types of this data column. Yeah, if I do like this with this command, if I run it, you see date is being recognized as object. Object is the same as a string. It's something that you cannot summarize, you cannot tell if you can analyze on a monthly basis or weekly basis until you convert this date to be recognized as date. So that's the next step. Convert the date into date time format. Or into date format. It's not necessary to add date time, because if you just say date time, it will try to add events, hours, and minutes. You put the sentence of converting the date into the right date format. That sentence will give you the code. You ready to convert the date into the right date format? This is just to check data types. Yeah, that's to check. Maybe something's wrong. It's not types. Unexpected indentation is because of this space. So your code always need to start from the start. So now it is recognized as a string. So the string is not the right format of date normally. So you need to convert your date into the right format. Convert the date into the right date format. That will solve the problem. Now from there, we are going to also tell it to give us some charts. Okay, so did you see that code too? Yeah, that's it. So you convert it into the right date format. Now, if you check it, you see it to be recognized as date. So we continue. We only want to have the import for this country. One value on one date. Yes. So we continue. Okay. So once you are done with this, you can check the data types. This will tell us that the column of date is not being recognized nicely. Put the sentence, that's will work. So now what we are going to do, we're going to convert it into the right format. So you add another code cell and say, please convert my date into the right date format. One comment, convert date into column to date time format. I'll do like this, and that's the code. That's the code. It said PD, which is pandas dot date to date time, taking my column, and then it's going to convert it to be recognized as date. Now we can be able to tell, okay, plot online chart or whatever. Are we together?
No.
Where are we? Where are we lost this time? You write the comments. Don't write the code. Your AI is working, so you should not write the code. Write the code. It is working. Yeah, it is working. Now it is correct. We're on the same place. So here you say easy, just two columns. Two columns actually of this. Yeah. China. Where did you get China and yeah, we have so many things. Okay, this is China and import. Very good. Now we need this. You have some dates. Yeah. Yes. Whatever the date is the same. Yeah. Let me remove this code and say to column date for China date, and if the date is the same, sum the times. Okay. This sometimes, then you can start writing. What's the name of this? It has to be right. Let's see trade data. It should bring. It should take the app variable which is trade data fitted. None. So say you can even do that. Do trade. Data pieces. Then you say dot group one. You have dots. You have group one. Yes, group one. Okay, and then open date in quotation marks. Date. Go at the end, comma as index. Space. As index. As index. False. False. Now we have at the end, yes. Now say quantity. Like this, you put quantity like this, you put quantity. The same, yes, underscore counts. Yes. Yes. Okay, now we will see. Wait. Yes. Go down. No space. Now you can say trade is written. Trade group is trade put here. Yeah. Just to sound one. See now it's going to come out. Everyone value has sound. Whatever they share the same month is going to do the total. So after that, so you can check the data types and then make sure that your column code date is being recognized as date, which with this pandas function called to date type. We are together. So now, before you do any other analysis, it's always recommended to do the plotting for you to show how if you can observe some seasons. Let's put it. You can do plot the quantity over time using matplotlib. Anyways, do I care? Do like this. Then I'll do figure this. So this is the code. Trade China data. So if I plot it, very good. As you can see, let me rotate the dates. Let me rotate the date, but I can still put it here. It is x plt dot x thickness, rotate 45, something like this. It's a lot. It's a lot, you see. But as though even though it is a lot, let me do like this. Let me hide this. Just say plot. Do the plot of this quantity in tons on time steps. You using either of this. It's going to write this code for it. Write the sentence that you need to plot this on time steps. Yes, thickness dot x thickness x x x. Tap. Yes, run again. Let's see. The data was generated randomly. That's what goes on the same chart. Try to write the sentence using let me send you the code on figure air for share. Air for share. Go to air for share site. Go to air for share. Let me paste this code. Air for share. So make sure the variables are the same. It's connecting with this internet. Internet is not working. Keep typing. The internet is not working. Okay, I see. It has come. I'm putting this on air for share for those who are struggling to type. Go to air for share, you should be able to see it.
Why is this same tape, same code,
Yeah,
but different chip?
okay. The reason is this data is generated randomly. So randomly means the data you have is not the data you have. If I do this, because it's randomly generated, okay, maybe,
We use same CSV file.
is it the same CSV file?
Yes.
I will check why, because it shouldn't be. It should be the same. The shape should be the same. Yours is crazy. Wait.
This is time there. Yes. You make your data if you can keep on your channel.
Set index 1 second. Did you see the code on air for share? Okay, let me see. The group by did not reset index. Some process can refresh. That's what it is. It might be here in the preparation. If you are not grouping by as I did, that should come on the program.
Group by date. What song? Yeah, it's a different. Group by date.
Inside there is as index false. So I don't need the dates to be recognized as index. It's as index false. Now, remove reset index from here. One. Go below, run the formula. Scroll down. No, the up. Might have where you converted the date. Run that as well.
This is the object.
Now go below and run. Shift. I'll check why, but this chart shouldn't be like that. Seems to have very picky. Do we see the chart? always use shift enter. Don't run one by one. It's okay with the chart of protein, but maybe on top where you prepared your data. Data preparation might be the problem. See how the chart looks like. So because this data is daily, as you can see, we have some dates in our data. So that's why you see this axis. But what if we convert this to be weekly or monthly? We can tell the Python, please convert this to be monthly using average. Whatever you see the values shares the same month, do the average. You see? So that way we can simply plot this, and the axis, instead of showing the dates, we're going to show the months or weeks or quarters or years if you want. Yeah? So let's change this x-axis to show to remove the dates but show the months. With this, we are going to use moving average. The command is moving average. You can come here and say, I need the monthly quantity using matplotlib. So that's simple. Now you will come and have this table that you have. You see? That is the data monthly. That is the data monthly. So if you say that you need this data to be monthly, it is going to add a column called month and sum everything on the same month. But I can also say not monthly. Yeah, monthly can be total or average. It's okay. We can go with total. And then we can go ahead and say plot PAT dot figure dot this dot this dot this dot this dot this until I get plt.show. So if I run this code by telling the system that I need the monthly accessor with date time values dt, why did this dt could not use dt accessor with the date time like values? Okay, let's see what it's saying. dt to period, you can also use moving average. So if you get error, you can always use any command or any OpenAI to help you to sort it. I don't know why it is giving me this error, but on some people it might work. Springs error. So this DT should be coming from the other library. I need to install another library most likely. I need to install another library called datetime. Let me just confirm. Let me just I have to convert this and see, let's see. Trade Trade date and this, let's say. PAT month and this, PAT.prot this month and this. Let's say float argument must not store, or float argument must be a string or a real number, not period. What? Trade prot this month. Let me see. It must store. So you always have to play around and know what is causing the error. This should have a string, not a period. Let's see. You take the line that is bringing the error and then you take the last sentence of your error. So debugging is always something that you have to play around. Grammatical and controls period objects created by this. To do so, into prot dt and timestamp. Oh, that's a lot. Dt and timestamp. Need to convert this into timestamp. Let's see. Voila. So now that's going to be a lot, but let me send it to you. Let me send it to you on air for share for those who are not able to get this right. You see, now we have the plot that is showing the increase or change in the volume of imports on monthly basis. So you see now what is changing. We are able to change from daily to monthly. Now you can be able to say that our import is increasing over time. But before, because it was mixed with a lot of dates and you couldn't tell, that's how you can minimize. And this analysis is grouping by sum. Sum means it is summing all the import that happened on a monthly basis. But you can also come and change it and use mean. This mean will give you the average. This plot will change from the sum to the average. So it depends to what you need to analyze. If I do like this, it still shows no big differences. It shows that the volume that have been importing, maybe this country has importing less, increased. Maybe here it was during COVID-19, where the import was not working or the system was broken somehow. Yeah, that's why you have the decrease in the imports. Maybe the country was in a problem, in a political problem, where the import and export is not working. If you analyze data of, let's say, Iran, and they have been importing the gas oil and so on. With this war, maybe this period, they did not do any import, any export. It will show like this. Now like this. So you can be able to tell what happened in two periods. Maybe political problems or wars or the blockage of the ports. It can give you this indication that in this period you have these problems. See? But after then, the import continues to increase over time. Go to here for share, you will be able to see the code. And you change your variables. You will have to play around with your variables always. Yeah, this was important, and this one to change it as time frame to be able to group these values with respect to time. So always you need to understand the past before you think of the future.
Change.
The change. Refresh. Did you refresh? Let me see. Okay, let me put it and see. Say maybe they was there somewhere. Clear. Let me just do like this and save. One second. Okay. Did you see that? Refresh and see. Try to refresh. Try to refresh the Air Force and see. Coming? Okay. Didn't come? Need to refresh the page. So this is going to give you a good indication of how the import was changing over time based on the monthly basis. Monthly basis change. If you want quarterly basis, if you want only yearly basis, you can still do that. Matter of the questions to ask there. Change your variable. Once you take the data from Air for share, you need to change your variables. This make sure you are using your own because maybe the way you have named this is not the same way you named it. So you have to change the variable names of the data. Trade data chain China, maybe yours is trade China. So you need to play around and change just few variables. But date, month, quantity in tons will still be the same.
This yearly or monthly? Because it's here. It's here.
Yeah.
You said.
So it means in that year maybe you have the one value in 2025. Yeah, it's monthly, but so we can even display months on the x-axis. It's just because it's not easy to put Jan, Feb, and so on, but we can still show. It's by default. By default, it takes year because maybe 1 year had 1 month. So suppose like 2025 was there just once. 2026 was what's wrong with your computer?
That is different.
Why are you getting different variables? And look at your variable. Your 1, 2, 3. The others are dealing with terms. Okay, yeah, your variables are rounded. See, so you know why? Your variables are rounded. That's why. Then the up one should be the reason why. Yeah, it was okay. So let's see. Sample.
This is a
That's the one. Let's see the one that
this
is.
is
There is stuff this bin and then let's see why. Because your reason should come from this axis. Yeah. Keep the axis in thousands. Yeah. That should be the problem. Yeah. You can even say keep the axis in a thousand. Keep the axis. Keep the axis. Axis as quantity. Now should be able to suggest us. Should be able to suggest us what should be the reason why your y-axis is very rounded and put in thousand. That should be the reason why. So try to ask AI how to fix this. That's just name.
that's just a name. That's just a name. But the way this variable should be spread widely, that's what you should ask. So yeah. So take this on AI and say keep on the plot. It should be the problem should be in the plot. Let me check this how it looks. Control copy. Let's put it here down and see how it is going to look. If I put this in the code, move the zeros. Why do you want zeros?
Can you share CSV5?
Yeah, this seems to be fine, but I'm reading. Let me put it in there.
History size.
Reka nze turebe twashyiramo. Yes.
Every times run the code from the beginning.
You don't have to. Check in the air for share under file. You go to air for share under file, you should be able to see.
So now here, what else can you do? So anything that you want to do here, you can still play around with it. But now what is interesting, I want you to install a library called Prophet, Facebook Prophet. To install Facebook Prophet, you can just go here and say install Prophet. Install Facebook Prophet. You will run this command. Let's see if it works. You run this command called Facebook Prophet. Once it is finished, we are going to simply run our analysis and create some future forecasts. Facebook Prophet. Once it is completed, is it completed? Still in starting?
Yes.
You can you can even do this. This Prophet is made for time series analysis. If you get an error, you can still try to fix it. Yeah, try to. No, you don't have Facebook, just Prophet. Install Prophet. Install
see.
That one helps to do. Okay. Facebook profile is completed. That's what that means. It is completed. The rest is wrong. So once this Facebook profile is completed, one other component that you have to consider every time when you are going to run Facebook profile, you need to have two columns on your data set. Two columns on data set. Two columns on data set. One, the data should be arranged in this way with just two columns, with a column called DS and another column called Y. I don't know why it's like this, but that's how Facebook chooses to use this library. One column should be called DS, this is DS, and Y, where DS means the time, the date says, and Y means the like volumes or like age or like quantity, whatever quantity of the numerical value you are trying to predict, it has to be renamed to be Y, not to keep its original name. Whatever value you are using for prediction or for analysis, it has to be called Y. So now, for us to achieve this, of course, as you can understand, it's to rename the column. So I assume we have a table with two columns of dates and the quantity in tons. But now we need to change those columns to be DS and Y. So that's the requirement of Facebook Prophet. To do so, you can also tell Prophet, please or comment, prepare my data as Facebook Prophet input. It will give us the code of renaming the columns. Let's see if it will know how Prophet works. After the installation, you need, of course, to call. Let me put another line and say, prepare. Let's use this data code trade import export China that has only two columns, and we ask it to be converted into Facebook Prophet data structure. So we can now come and say, prepare this data frame for Prophet. You see that it is also suggesting me that we are going to prepare this trade import China data frame for Prophet by renaming the columns to DS and Y. So by writing this sentence, it will know how the Facebook Prophet works. Now I do tab and it will complete the sentence. Now it is also giving me the code. Perfect. So this code does nothing but to name the column from date to DS, quantity tons to Y. Very simple name. It's command code rename. Put the good sentence, it is going to sort it. Did it work? That's how you have to fix. This is the fundamental step. This is the fundamental step. Every data that you're going to supply within Facebook Prophet for time series analysis has to be transformed from date to DS and quantity to Y. Yeah. So once this is completed, of course, now you can tell I have to run this code. If it doesn't give any error, means I can also try to check the head of my column. I can see the data was named trade China, import China. You see now, I have the column code, the just two column code, DS and Y. This month, I can still choose to remove it. I can still choose to drop the month. Yeah. Rename this and then, anyways, we will still use those two columns. You can also say remove the month column. Here below, you can say remove the month column. I don't have to type it all. By saying remove, it knows what to remove. Because the data, as I said at the end, it needs to have just two columns. The dates and the value that you are interested in. Not this, not any other columns. By typing that remove, the system will know what to be removed. If it is suggesting me the sentence, I will do what? Tab. And then below, it will do like this and complete the code. So this code also gives me exactly the same data, but by dropping the column code months. Drop column. If you want to have the data set excluding one column, you can use drop, and then you take the column into brackets. If you are to remove many columns, you can still separate with the command and put the list of columns that you don't want to include in your output.
I think we cannot connect all most of it in one. That's what we did. But that's why it is zero. That's why it is zero. So we need exactly zero export of inputs. I think that's the problem we have now. Because you have so many zeros and you need to put it. So for this, if you are looking for data, always initially, where you have just say that you need let's still check from here. Let's check from here, okay? From here. After making this and this, let's also check. Yes, you have some zeros. So if you have some zeros, you can also say here after putting these, you can keep the values. Keep the values. Please don't do it. You can keep that way. Here, able to have this same there by removing zeros. Include this, this. where this showing this for 1 year. I didn't do any transition process. Just no.
Students got a problem.
You need to group by group values have one days on the same values. You can also do it here. So that you have one value on one day. Maybe this will be some people want to go so the comments will be some now it's see that? So now we can go ahead and try to build up. Let's take a short break and then we will come and build this. Because maybe you made different things. So let's say China, you see, maybe that's where you should not do that again. Unless you do not do it, but if you did, you did not get a value. If you do that, that simply means you have to do like this. It means this data has changed to this. So you did not take a variable called China equals data.
which is going to have the group divide, to store the group divide. Just group and see the result. But do not store the result into a variable. Yeah. Let's take a break, 10 minutes, and then we do the vaccines for the
Normally, you take it out and you take it back. I'm coming, 1 second.
Maybe here. That's why you have to do this before the grouping. After the grouping, and then you restore the value. This variable used. This is variable used. You need to make sure that this is used variable. Here now. We are only running this was see why it is coming like that. Take some break, take some 15 minutes, and then go to. Are you enjoying coding?
Yeah, tap. Yeah, just. Close the curtains.
What is the trade of that?
Change the time address and you trade. The name. Take break, let me check your balance. Yeah, your number, your match plus.
Exactly. Can you
Yes, this way. This way. Ambil sekarang. Ambil sekarang. Ayo. Apa? Ayo.
Give you some time.
Credits zazo zashize. Check out the money.
ntabwo bari vaje na Python ba instruments. Iyo umuntu afite nka Python 3 something ntabwo library itaba incompatible na Python. Yeah, specific version. Korabuse yajya bituma utagendana n'izindi yego turebe, let me try this last chance.
Isso, é uma coisa também. Publicity. nanjye nagiye kubona mubona na telefone ye.
It's environment. It's environment. So you can start writing one environment, producing one environment, but maybe it's not the environment. That's why you have to switch between the environment. This is go inside there, and it's going inside. So you can check somewhere and then maybe it's not
What?
So let's put this model in action and see how it can get focus. Let me know when it works. So now let's continue. We have cleaned our data, and then we have two columns of DS and Y. Trying to come there. So after having these two columns, after having those two columns, you can also check and see how it looks like. Now you can tell the Facebook profit that you want to do, let's say, 6 months ahead, 6 months in the future. Yes. Let me now say comment. Yeah. Now let's say import profit. Import profit
Profit library. And train model and create profit model to forecast these tons for this import China data set. So this way it will be able to create it, and then later on we will ask it to create the model and make some future prediction. That's how you standardize the model fit, import profit. Now the model is equal to profit. So now I can tell it to make future 6 months future forecast. You see, create data frame, future data frame for the next 12 months. Okay. What else can we do? Make prediction using the profit model. Plot the forecasted values along with the historical data. So I'm not even coding. What else? Put the forecasted value along with the historical data in the component of, no, not necessary. So here, what this code does is, it is trying to import the library that we just installed. From profit, import profit. Now it is initializing the model. Always when we are creating the model, be it ARIMA model or SARIMA model, random forest model, it starts initializing the model. Now fitting the model, we take the data and we fit the model. This is our clean data set we have used, which is that the column recognized as date. It has to be recognized as date time. If it's not date time, it might cause the problems. Yeah, let's see if it is date time. It should be date time. It is. Let's hope so. Let me just print the data types. Make sure that our DS is now date type. Check the data types. Let me check the data types. Check data types. Data types. Because if it's not date, okay, it is date, which is okay. So I was trying to explain this line of code. I can also send them to you. But you can write the sentence. Try to write the sentence. Whenever you want the next line, you go and put this comment symbol, and then the system will try to write what should be next. After fitting the model, you are making the prediction. And you are mentioning that you need a 12 months period. This M stands for months. If you are working on daily data set and you need to make, let's say 30 days in the future, you need to use the 30, and inside the frequency you put D. Or inside the frequency you can also put W for weekly analysis. It depends to what focus you want to do. Then after that you make the prediction. Now you have already made the past, you have fit the model with your data, it is able to understand what happened in the future. Now you can still take it and say, please make the prediction. And this model.predict, this function, we will mostly use it because it is using this model and take these future values that it or sequence. This one creates the 12 months in the future. Now it maps it with the model we have just created, and now you can visualize your model based on the past plus the model, the new forecasted values. How does it look? Perfect. You see? So now this is, if you want to see how it looks like, you will simply run the code. By chance, you cross finger, and then you see the result in action. So it simply means, remember our data ends in 2024 around. So now this is the forecasted values. If I look into my data, they stopped it from here, and that's the forecasted values. Yeah. So it is plotting the past plus the future. Oh, oops. You see? So now, based on the histories that we have, you are able to know how the future is most likely. Yes. That's because of the values. It doesn't show because of the x-axis has a lot of values. It shows a few of them. But you can also force it to show them. Just the default. Yeah, it assumes that you knows this point here, this is 16, this is 17, this is, so it jumps some values. But it's default. It's just this default. But if you want, you can also force it to show. How can you force it to show? Use AI. Use AI, my brother. Use AI. Did you get the same chart as I did? Did it work? Yes. The profit. You need to install it. Did you get it started? Let me get why it is not being installed. Because it should work for everyone. 1 second. Let's see why profit is not working. Okay. Yeah. You need to have an AI voice when you are coding. AI needs to be open. They can use this way. Do you see the output? Did you see the future? Okay. Now you are becoming a prophet. You can tell the future. Maybe my brother also to see the future.
Yes, that means from there upwards, it's not available in your data, so you can know now what happened, what's the value of export that's going to happen in 2025. So now we are going to understand how to challenge your model and know if it is predicting in a good way or bad. How to evaluate the efficiency. We strain it and then we try to do some practices. So many functions. Giving so many functions. So the good thing of this library, it handles all of those components that we were learning about. If you worried about seasonality, stationality, moving average, outliers and so on, this model, it handles everything.
Feed profit data. So if you have a problem, it's feed profit data saying some tables are not recognized. One from somewhere. So it depends on the one. Say we use MP. So this is the past existing data. This is how this is the prediction.
Do you see the prediction? So now, the good thing of this, it is not only the future. Not only in the chart. What if you need what is the value number? You need, this is just a chart. Yeah, you should be wondering, how can I know the volume in a number? What was the values? After running this model fit of profit and make this prediction, we have those values as well. So I can come and tell a profit to show me the real values of the future. Okay. So I need to know the numbers. Okay. Show me the future, the forecasted values of the next month as data frame. As data. You understand my question? This is the tail. You can choose to see the tail or head. Yeah. If I print this chart, it will show me the future. If I print this code, it's going to show me the values. So it means within my data, I did not have January 2024 31st. Yeah. So this is the real value that it is plotting on the chart. But as you can see on the chart, we have what you call lower bound and the upper bound, or we have what you can also call the confidence interval. Yeah, it's called confidence interval. Confidence interval is the right term. Confidence interval means however much your prediction might not be correct, it will never go below or above the confidence interval shown on the chart. So that's why from the histories you will see some forecast, but the forecast will be under the range. Yeah, you'll be under the range, something like this. What this means, this is going to be lower bound, lower, and this is going to be upper. So this is going to be this is expected volume in the future in 2025. 2025. Our data has up to 2024. But if there is some uncertainty or any problem might happen, but then it can't go below this the lower bound.
Do you see the Y lower and upper? It's the bound. It's the bound. So we have the middle. It means on the chart, this is what you have in the chart. Yeah. But if it goes below, it will never go below this value. But if it goes up, prediction, always prediction goes with the probability. So it's never be 100% sure. It's as if I give you my money and you say, give it to me tomorrow. Am I going to be 100%? That's the risk. I can't be 100% sure that you are going to give it to me.
Maybe I would live.
It's outlier. It must be outlier. That's very true. That's why this profit comes with the probability of up and the probability of lower. So this is the expected volume.
Yeah.
But something might happen. Maybe it might rain or it might be dry and so on.
Yes.
But any problem that might happen, it can't go below this, and it will never go above this. That's why, this is what we call confidence interval. So this is the value within the range. Normally, the good prediction provide the range. They say maybe the range is going to be between 5 and 10 minutes. With that, you'll be somehow sure that it's going to be either 7, 6, 8. So you are giving yourself the rooms of having maybe deviations, small deviations. So that's why on the chart you saw previously, you were able to see something with the lower bound and the upper bound. So that's exactly what means here on the chart. When you look at this chart, that means the prediction in 2025, it will go with this blue line. But something might happen here and it goes to this point, but it will never go above this or below this. So it's the range. This is the range. This is the range of prediction. Doesn't provide just a fixed point, but the range. You see? Now this is the value. If you like this value, you can save it as a CSV. We have seen it last time, and then you send it to your friend. Please see what's going to be in the future. You can also automate this task. You can take the value from database that has column of date. You prepare it. You remove missing values. You clean and keep only time, which is DS, and Y, which is maybe value of quantity or volume. And then you report first book profit, and then you make the prediction. You put it on your app that you are developing, otherwise to be showing 12 months prediction. Reading database in real time, showing the prediction of 6 months or 12 months on the. This is a time series. You have the past, now you can guess what is going to happen in the future. So there is one beautiful component that involves the simple mathematics to verify if your model is predicting well or not. Yeah? You can still challenge and know if your model is predicting well or not. That's what we're going to see. We see the predictions. You can store this as a variable, and then maybe you can send it to someone, or you save it in your machine, or you show the charts on the plot. But these values, when you look in our data, we did not have those months. We did not have this. And we are the one who said we need just 12 months. You can change 12 to 24, to 36. But it is always good to give your time the shortest possible time, because you can't predict it 10 years ahead.
Yes.
It's better to predict 1 year or next month than 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always good to take very short time back for the
And if you can predict 10 years and COVID comes.
Yeah.
What is the model to predict from information text,
From tech.
not time series?
Mm.
Data text.
The
Reporting that if any data is reported about year,
Mm.
text Text reporting.
Text
Text.
data.
Yeah.
And structure.
General reporting.
General reporting.
Yeah.
We see there is a model that we use to predict what we call classification or regression in machine learning, which helps you to classify. Let's say if I give you the specific information of emails, can you predict if the email is spam or not? Or if we will see what we call classification, which is not time series. You have the histories, and then you can predict the future. We have binary classification or multi-classification. That's what we have to learn next. And the regression.
Talk about text mining.
Text mining.
Yeah.
You need to do text mining
Yeah.
to extract some text from document or from Word or from PDF.
Yes.
And then you make some classifications. If maybe it can be the comments, if you want to classify if the comment is positive or negative, something. Is that what you want?
Yes. Dependent on topic. Dependent on topic after classification.
Yeah, but that way the comment needs to be structured. It needs to be structured into a table format. Structured. So you have to extract what I have seen is a way I will check the library very well that can give you the probability if the comment is positive or negative. Let's say maybe you are working on social media platform of one institution and people are sending tweeters. Now you need to extract the tweeter and know who are the satisfaction level, if they are giving positive feedback or negative comment or positive comment. The model can rank them from -1 to 1. You get almost 1, that means the comment is positive. If you get a score of -1, that means the comment is negative. There is a model that you can text mine and then give the score. Yeah.
It's like if you get data from Facebook page and other social media pages in different pages and store it. After store it, you have the classification and put in to
Give you the score.
give me a decision for this.
Exactly, yeah. It is possible, yes. Yes, you can connect it from there and then through APIs, you will have the comment of the table of many columns. Who sent the username of the one who sent the text. Yes, even the topic is working on, or even the full comment he typed. And then you can use machine learning models, and then you can add a column of the score. Each comment, it gets the score. Each comment gets the score. The machine will understand and say maybe 70%, minus 70%. 70% means positive comment. Minus 70% means mostly negative comment. Now you can know what's the average of the comment. Do you have a lot of positive or a lot of negatives? That's the analytics.
Okay.
Sure there is.
ظني بعدك لو هو خلاص انت ممكن تشيل الكومنت ممكن تشيل القص ده لكن في نهايه الامر بعد ما تستخدمها تحطها في طرف الكول عشان بعد ما عملت الكلاسيفيكيشن تشيل العدد الموديل بعد الموديل
بس تصديق ده مهم يعني يزيدوا
لا إذا
لازم يدخلها قال
صنفها أول حاجة إذا نوع عشان بعد تدخل هو الموديل ما يفهم يعني كلام سيري الكثير ده يفهم لازم باينة بس أو تديه شنو النسب 70 80 كده
أكبر من كده بنعملها من كده.
لازم نقسمهم 30 واحد زي اللي هسموها شايف أولا المشكلة أنا ما أحتاج
Right. So now let's just run simple approach of how you can use to evaluate your performance of Facebook model. So we now see how it is doing the prediction. Yeah. What many people use, even in machine learning that we learn in the main 2 days. You want machine to guess, you want the machine to make the prediction. Okay? Now you need the machine, you need yourself, you need to compare what the machine is predicting versus the real values that you have. So let's assume that you have data from, look, this is very important. Let's assume you have the data from, let's say 2020 up to 2026. Yeah? 26. And now you want to predict 2027. You want to predict 2027. You don't just do this way. You give all of this Facebook and then you tend to predict 1 year ahead. You don't do this what you have done. So what you do to evaluate your model performance, you come and assume that you give the model 2020 up to 2025. Okay? You take the model to predict what? 2026.
Yes.
On your data set, you had the 2026. Okay? You had it. Now you have to compare 2026, the real value you have, versus the predicted value of 2026. So that's how now you see what's the difference from what model is predicting versus what's real value you have in 2026.
Yes.
You see that?
Yeah.
That's all what you call machine learning evaluation. So from there, I like the way you understand these concepts. This value of 2020 up to 2025, it is called the training data. Training. So it is the one you are giving machine to understand. And that 2026 you just kept to use to evaluate to see what the model is predicting is nearby the true values. We call it test. 2026 itself is going to be test. Yeah? This is 2026. So we have it. Let me repeat it again. We have data of 2025 and 2026. Yeah? Because my project is to predict the 2027. But I don't want to give the model this and ask just to predict. I need to first confirm and see if it is predicting something that is nearby the reality. You see? So now what I do, I will take my data and split it into 2 parts. I want you to speak these terms, train and test. You split your data into 2 parts, train and test. So train is going to be 2022 up 2020 up to 2025, and you feed it the machine. And then you tend to predict 2026. Because you already have the real values of 2026, you compare what is predicting versus the real values. So that's what we're going to use in the coming days. Everything we do, we are going to keep some data aside and we predict. And then you compare what model is predicting versus the real values you have. So if you see that the difference is small, that's a good model. But if you see the difference is big, something is wrong. So you can't use it for business. So you split your data into train and test.
From how to divide to increasing efficiency of
Yes.
Divide the bill
Mm.
three part, gives the room the model.
Yes, you can still divide the data. This is one approach called test, train and test split. There is a function in Python called the train and test split, and it will handle that for you. You don't have to do it manually. So for time series, we sort the data of dates from 2022 to 2026, and we take 2026, we predict it, and we compare it with your values. But for other programs like regulation or classification, sometimes you don't take the last one. You take them randomly, and you keep them aside for testing purpose. So you predict it, and then you compare with the real values. If the difference is big, your model has a problem. You have to review it again. If the difference is small, you take it to the prediction and you use it to predict the businesses. I can give you an example in the medical sector or health sector. Let's say they have the model that will predict if someone is suffering from is sick or not. Just that. Let me not be specific. Yeah. If they want to predict if someone is sick or not. Let's say we have big data of thousand or millions of patients, and then you have different column, maybe age, yeah, maybe gender, yeah, maybe if someone smokes or not, and maybe the body mass index, yeah, maybe if they have blood pressure, you know blood pressure, which is maybe yes or no, and maybe their sugar level, something, sugar level, yeah, and now here we have let's say the diabetes as maybe as the interested column or what you want to predict. So let's say one person come with some age, 22, 20 age. Maybe he was male, was smoking, we put 1, it means yes. Body mass index was 20, blood pressure maybe was 30, maybe sugar level was 10. Don't mind my numbers, I don't know the range.
Okay.
Maybe this guy had diabetes. Okay? Yeah, here comes another person of 30 years old. Maybe he was female, and maybe smoke, maybe he was not smoking. Blood pressure, maybe body mass index was 21. Blood pressure was 31. And then maybe sugar was 11. Maybe he was not suffering from diabetes. Okay? So we have thousands records like this. Thousands, right? Now we need to build a model which will be taking the age, gender, smoke, body mass index, blood pressure, and sugar, and make a prediction if someone is sick or not. So that's what we call machine learning. That is what I'm giving you the test of what you're going to learn in next day, and see how important it is. So now you give this the machine, but before you give it, you reserve some data for yourself. You say, I will take, let's say this was 1,000 patients, okay? You take 200 of them, 200. You keep it aside. You take this model and then you give it, you train this model to understand everything regarding the patient specification and if they are suffering or not. Okay? Now, once you're done, you take these values, you give it the model to predict. Once it predicts, you compare with the real values you have for 200 people, and then you see the gap. How many did the model predict as they are sick when they are really sick? How many the model did it predict that they are not sick, and yes, they are not sick? And how many models did it predict that they are sick, but they are not sick? How many models did it predict as they are not sick, and yet they are sick? So now you can tell how your model is behaving, if it is predicting nicely or bad. So that's what you call this data. The last one, the 200, they are called the test. And the 800 remaining is the trend.
So you give this to the machine. After they understand it, you give it to this. In Python, I'm just speaking, but when we write the code, it's meant to be straightforward for you to understand what you are trying to achieve. So the same approach with time series or regression analysis. You make the prediction. Here we start by predicting the classes and the numerical values. But when the prediction is either 0 and 1, 0 and 1, 0 means someone is not sick, 1 means he's sick, that's what you call binary classification. So it has strong terms, but in application, you will see it in action. You can predict a model that will take all of those variables, the age, the gender, the smoke, the body mass index, blood pressure, sugar, and make the prediction if someone is sick or not. So let's just do a simple approach of this variance, and we see how we can test if our model is able to the level, the significance, how good is this model, if it is far from the reality or if it is the closer from the realities. So this was just a simple plotting, but now, like I said, we are going to take the data. Maybe we can take, since we have 120 record, we can take 20 record, 20 last record. We keep it aside, and then we take a model to predict the 20 last record, and then we compare it with the real values. And if the difference is big, our model is not doing well. So if the difference is small, we are good. We can use it for the prediction. And that's what I said. You take 2020 up to 2026, you want to predict 2027. But you need to take 2020 up to 2025, you predict 2026. Now you compare what is predicted with the real value of 2026 million. And when you see the difference is small, you are good to go. If the difference is big, something is wrong. Maybe your model, you need to clean the data, you need to go and apply the logarithmic functions, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So let's see how we can tell this this Facebook that now we need to make the prediction, but by leaving 20 last values. Then you predict those last 20 last values, and then we compare what we have predicted and what is the real values. And then we see the difference between the real and the prediction. If it is small, the model is good, we can use to predict 2027 and 2028. If it is not, we have to rebuild our model. Maybe something is wrong. Data cleaning, maybe you have dropped missing values, maybe predicting on weekly basis instead of monthly basis, until you see that the difference between the model and the real values is small. So the first step, as you understand, we are going to clean our data and say, this is the last part to use. We are going to take our data, remove the last part, maybe 20 record. And then we take the remaining 100 record, we predict the 20 record. We compare the last 20 record we predicted versus the real values we have, and then see the difference. In practice, it's easy, but you need to understand the flow of work. Yes, so the practice is simple. So let's see how we can do that.
May I use the same thing? Because you have already have 2024. This data is already.
How many records do you have? I need to know how many records do you have, maybe. This, let's see. How many records do you have? Let me see the record that I have here. Let me see the shape. Do this and do the shape. Have this, but maybe it's because of grouping. So for me, I'm grouping on monthly basis. This is monthly. I have 120 record. Have 120 records. So make sure you have the same data. Maybe let me check the trade China. It was after grouping by month, maybe trade China monthly. Yeah, maybe it was this. I have month. Yeah, group by month. Here after removing the days. Trade the China returns, trade the China dates.
120. You see, I always come with 120 after grouping the dates, after sorting, keeping the country equal to China and the trade type equal to import and the grouping by dates. I'm remaining with 120 record. Yeah, this is the record I have. We have the same. Do you have the same record? Do we have the same record? Let me just print the shape here after reading and see. Let me print the shape. Let me print the shape here. Printing the shape. The shape of the data frame. You see why it is coding? You can understand what I'm talking about. Let me see like this. So this was the whole data, which is 25,000. But after saying that, no, I need where countries go to China and where the import trade type is go to import and group by dates. Yeah, I only get this. Let me see trade China how it is. Trade China shape. Let me print it. Can still print the shape here. Print the shape. You see, after that, I have 100.
Yeah.
So I don't know which data, I don't know why we are not using the same values. Maybe you did not clean and import. Maybe your import is wrongly written. I don't know, maybe. Because you see the data frame, trade, import and export. When I do just this cleaning, I'm remaining with 120.
This filter,
Yeah, we have this filter.
yeah,
Don't you have the same?
the same.
We have the same value.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll continue then. It's just the filter and the grouping by date. So after that, I'm going to say from that date, it has also to be, it's normally by sorted. By default, it is sorted. So after that, I'm going to say from this Facebook Prophet dataset, sort it from A to Z and keep the last. I can tell you to keep the last 12 months for testing purpose. So I'm going to write that sentence. So from this Prophet dataset, keep the last 12 months for testing purpose and give me the remaining part for my model. So let's do that. Using Prophet, how is it called? Is it called, how the data is called? It's called Trade Import China Prophet. This, I need to use this data that is already clean, that has DS and Y as columns. Yeah, using this table, using this split, train and test. Split is the command. Split train and test. And test by using the last, let's say 12 months. Why is it not written as test? Why is it not listening? Should be listening. Let me see test. Should be coding. Something's wrong. Don't want to code. Let me see, maybe. Let me remove this and the other one. Don't want to code. I'm very lazy.
Something's wrong. I can't code it. I hit.
Limit reached. That's why I have reached my limit. Completion. Limit reached. I was wondering why it couldn't get me there. But anyway, I can save and close and open it again. Let me see if this is going to open it to yes. Yes, correct. Let me see if it's going to understand. Let me see. Completion. Auto import completion. First, switch to this. So you can simply write from your command C. You can also code it here. Yes.
Share the screen.
Okay. So I can still ask from here using this data set. Dataset code like this with DS and Y column. Split, train and tests by taking the last 12 months as tests. I'm using Prophet. Chrome is working. So you can still, I don't know, I have hit my limits here. I've hit my limits. But you can still see, it will help you to do that. Yeah? It will split the values and then it gives you one data of train and another one for test. Use the test and you develop the same models, and then at the end you'll be able to compare the two. Yeah, I don't know why did I have to hit my stuff? Can't code anymore. It is finishing my credits. Anyways, let me take it on this AI. But you can still do that. You still have the credits.
Can I use your machine? Let me use your machine. We all have this. Let's see if you still have the credits. Yeah, it has already done that. So you have the train data and the test data. Let me use your machine.
I've used my credits.
My credits.